Hey, welcome to the second course video for the song Let 'Em Pray by NF from his album Hope. I'm musically malnourished, and you're on my journey to go deep and wide in discovering new music and artists. In these videos, we do a deep dive into the lyrics and meaning behind the music. Now, within Let 'Em Pray, NF is really centered on this idea of people who are praying for his downfall and his confidence that let 'em pray. They can pray that all they want. I believe in what I'm doing, and I believe that God's got my back. Now, it's always interesting in this idea. I think to pray for someone's downfall is pretty messed up. And that's why I think NF approaches with the confidence that like God's not listening to those prayers. Let's make a little distinction. First and foremost, let's take Jesus's words into account to pray for your enemies, to pray for those who persecute you. And the hope there is that they could see the light that you've seen, that they could receive the forgiveness that you've received. And that feels like an impossible task apart from the Holy Spirit helping us. Now, let's take it into account of maybe somebody who is not personally hurting you, but maybe hurting someone else. You know, I guess we can take the most extreme examples of like dictators, things like that. And the prayer could definitely be like, expose them, strip down what's evil, let the things that they're doing come to ruin. Like those are not wrong prayers whatsoever. I think the challenge would be, how do you reconcile that with the same sense that God offers forgiveness to all people? So even in praying for their downfall in that sense, is praying that the harm they're doing would come to an end, and that God, would you show them mercy? Would you reveal yourself to them? Would you open their blind eyes? Would you release their evil heart? That's different than like looking at somebody else praying, oh gosh, I wish they just suck. I wish their career would end. It comes from this bitter place. And so hopefully you can see those distinctions. And I think that's important kind of getting into this song. So let's hop in and break this down verse by verse. All right, verse 1. Delegating isn't one of my strong suits. I've seen it take a toll and be harmful. I've seen what it can do when I got both my arms full, but still continue to pile more on my back, though. I think this is a really interesting line. Oh, delegation, delegation, sweet delegation. I've learned a lot about delegation in my life. I've led quite a few things, kind of been the one that's had to find the plan, find the strategy, get things moving, but then for you to move your resources somewhere else, same as if you're talking about like an army, you have to train and raise people up, but eventually, hopefully you have generals or those that are under you that you can then hand responsibility to so that you can give your attention somewhere else. That's the point of delegation. Delegation isn't just like, I'm tired of doing these things, I'll put it off on somebody else. The whole point is that you as a leader can then focus your efforts in another place, and you'll probably build something there and need to delegate some of that. The challenge of a leader is to try to get to a place where you are constantly doing the things that only you can do. There are some jobs only you can do. And if you can find those few things, and then you have to put the effort into raising up others to carry the other things. So delegation is a beautiful thing and it's necessary. However, if you don't train properly, if you don't give the time that's necessary, if you just unload something on somebody that they're not ready for, that delegation isn't really delegation. And sometimes in delegating, like you still have to check in, you still have to make sure. You don't want to micromanage because that would defeat the purpose of delegation, and it honestly just frustrates people. But you have to make sure you put in the adequate time in delegation to where it's truly delegation. And, you also in delegating, it's challenging because sometimes what you are partially doing is releasing responsibility, and you need to have somebody that you trust that might do it a little bit different from you. Now, I'm not talking about when it comes to certain codes and things like that. Like within a restaurant, there are some responsibilities that have to be delegated and done exactly the way that you said it needed to be done. There are health codes and things like I've been in restaurants where you cannot have water bottles, things like that on top of the counters. There are specific areas they have to go. So when you delegate that, it's like, hey, this is what has to happen. You have to do it this way. It's a code. But when it comes to maybe how they conduct a team huddle or things like that, you're more so delegating principle, heart, spirit, and the way in which that person is uniquely made. They will approach it in a unique way. And when you delegate, you have to be okay with that, or else you become that annoying micromanager. It's like, no, I told you when you do your meeting, you need to do it this way. And it's like, well, wait, didn't you delegate an outcome to me? You want a unified team. You want people who feel confident in the role that they're carrying, and you want this end result. You delegated me the end result. You need to let me, as the person you delegated to, reach that end result and do it in the way that fits me. So those are all, there's more and more things that you get around delegating, but I have had and done my fair share of delegation. I love talking about these principles, but that's interesting in what he's talking about, because he's like, I know what delegation can do, but I still pile more on my back because there's a harm that can come through delegation, and it can take its toll. I learned at a young age, if you want to do something impactful, you got to be willing to sacrifice and really go after it. True, with everything that you have. Because if you don't, it ain't never going to happen. Got to prevail, got to excel. Think I hit my peak? No. Excuse me. I just started climbing the hill. I just began this thing. Kill or be killed. Well, if that's the way that you feel, I hope you know you're about to get the raw end of the deal, meaning you will be killed. In a killed or be killed situation, I'm always going to kill. I need to meditate. I ain't got no room to grow, I would never say. Conversations with the Lord should be every day, reconnecting with my core, get my head on straight, praying on my downfall, let him pray. Resume, check the resume, set the pace, I don't hesitate. Yeah, just get it done, let me demonstrate, let it soak in, let it resonate. Blood, sweat, and tears on the 808s. 808s are a bass, right? Blood, sweat, and tears to describe working hard, yes. The Roland TR-808 is a drum machine with programmable rhythms that use analog synthesis to produce its sound. 808s are very common in hip-hop and is often time used to refer to a track in general. So yeah, just putting the work in on the track, on the beat. See him praying on my downfall. Let him pray. Oh, let him pray. And it kind of repeats the sentiment. See him praying on my downfall. Let him pray. Sentimental, influential. Every step I've ever taken in the wrong direction helped me get to where I am today and led to monumental moments in my life that I would not have got to experience if I'd let the mistakes that I made rob me of my full potential. Life will test you. NF just spitting wisdom. Don't forget to remember the fundamentals. I got to get back to those. Be surprised what you find when you climb out your comfort zone. I get uncomfortable when I get too comfortable. Yes, can understand that. You corner me and that's all she wrote. I'm in a headspace I ain't never been before. You don't bring nothing to my life, then I exit yours. Let's get right to it. Yeah, it's like this, there was this sermon series a long time ago, maybe 15 years ago, that I heard called How to Hug a Vampire. And the whole point was like how to love people that drain the life out of you. I thought that was so creative. And that's kind of what he's saying. Like if you're the type of person that you literally are just taking, he's like, no, I don't have any space for that. So let's try not to be those people. Let's get right to it. I ain't with the back and forth. You either with me or against me, a easy choice. The momentum building, I can feel it. My resilience cannot hide it, can't conceal it. Made me suffer some, but also made me brilliant. Excuse me. Pass my brilliance down and teach my children. Life is precious. Life is treacherous. Life is filled with dead-end roads. Keep on pushing. Keep on healing, which these are some of the things that he's talking about here, teaching his children. See you praying on my downfall. Keep praying. God ain't listening to you. So we get back into this pre-chorus and then into the chorus. Let them pray. Yeah. And honestly, that's just kind of how you have to think about people who are working against you. It's like, whatever, dude. Let them pray. I know I'm not perfect. I'm working it out. I'm figuring it out. But I understand what it takes to succeed and do what I feel I'm meant to do. And so you can just keep praying. Like, you spend your time praying against me, I'm going to keep working. So let's carry that into our lives. Let me know your thoughts on this one in the comments. Thanks for hanging out with me. Hope to see you in the next one. It's reading good.